And the nice thing about these practice katanas, oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt big time. A piece of that the tip just got me, Odell. Oh, that got me good.
You all right?
A piece of that tip just got me.
Folks, right now, we may need emergency surgery in the studio.
I remember when I was like 14, I was walking through the mall with my mom, and there was this Oriental trading store that was outfitted with like Japanese and Chinese crafted weapons like daggers, parasai, all types of various blades, and these really cool looking Japanese made swords, right? And when I say that this store had the complete look and aesthetic appearance of a Chinese or Japanese shop, you would assume, or you might assume that you would find in their actual country. And I was the happiest I'd ever been because I had what I thought was an authentic Japanese steel samurai sword. I was ready to slay dragons and lead people back into the days of feudal Japan with this thing. So imagine my surprise then when that same sword literally started to fall apart like 6 months later. I mean, everything about it started to just come undone. The guard started to slide off. The screws in the hilt became exposed and rusty. I felt betrayed by the people that worked there. I wanted to go back and slap the shit out of everybody behind the counter, honestly, because they had sold me on the authenticity of that katana sword. I felt like I had been scammed to my face. Anyway, I ended up going back years later. Thankfully, that place was shut the hell down. And I'm hoping that that's what happens to Kamikoto knives, because it brings back all the bad memories of paying a bunch of money for a subpar piece of work. So Scott Shafer is back at it again. God. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire company puts a hit out on him at this point, because he's making this the worst year ever for the people over at Galton Voysey, which, if you didn't know, by the way, are the very same people that are behind the established titles bullshit. Galton Voysey is the parent company that's behind both of these businesses. Now, Kamikoto knives, you may have seen some popular people promote these on their channel because, again, nobody cares about you, all right? But these knives are being sold as premium quality blades, right? And so I'm not going to regurgitate everything he said in his video. You should just go watch it. I just think it's absolutely hilarious that somebody is over there at Galton Voysey just doing paperwork, and all of a sudden they see another video pop up on YouTube about one of their other businesses, and they're just sitting there like,
this fucking guy again.
But anyway, I did want to point out again how these knives were being called a scam months ago, way before Scott Shafer's video, which lends to the point of how nobody cares about their audience. They'll sell you all what the fuck ever. And I can already hear somebody deriding in the comments now.
Oh my God, let it go already, let it go.
No. These guys led millions of people to financial slaughter. And all we got is a measly ass 4-minute apology that shifted the blame. And the two main people that I'm talking about are Graham and Andre, which they never really addressed the established titles thing at all. So hell no. No, I refuse to let it go. And so should y'all, honestly. So I'm letting you know now, I'm never letting it go. So everybody that has a cape on for this type of clown shit can take one express trip directly to hell, because I am never letting it go. So anyway, this guy, Shadiversity, I hope I'm saying his channel's name correctly, tested the Kamikoto premium knife against some other basic knives that cost little to nothing. And you can go watch the video. It's about an hour long. I'll link to it in the comments below. But in the end, the conclusion was that while the Kamikoto knives are certainly usable and serviceable, they are a far cry from what they are being promoted as, which is a high quality Japanese steel mastercraft cutting blade.
These are actual Kamikoto knives. And look at what they says. We hereby certify this blade has been handcrafted from high quality steel from Honshu. And so, like they're trying to say, because it's from this specific area, that makes it better. Huh? Honshu, Japan, following Kamikoto's uncompromising 19-step process. Now, they very well might have a 19-step process of quality control. You'd expect any company to have quality control processes. So that's like a bare minimum. It's not like we have better quality control than anything else. This should be, no, you should expect this. Paying tribute to the centuries-old tradition of Japanese knife making. And look, sometimes it's great having a traditionally made thing just for the cultural appreciation and history behind it. Doesn't mean it's actually better. Most modern steels, industry made, are far better than historical steels, both in Europe and the ones made in Japan. And so the idea that Kamikoto is trying to piggyback off of the lauded reputation, which is a false reputation. And so there's like, traditions passed down centuries old. Well, one, Kamikoto knives, they're not actually, like, in terms of handcrafted, maybe hand ground on a knife, hand ground on a sanding belt. It might be that type of hand craftsmanship, but this was not hand forged or any measure like that. This is made in the same way as many modern day knives are made through an industrial process. And because hands are involved in that industrial process at times, it's like, it's handmade as a result. Traditional techniques, what grinding something on a sanding thing? Yes, that's a traditional technique. It goes back a very long time, but they're trying to sell it on this idea that it's ancient techniques where it's actually hand-forged craftsmen. Like, no.
And that seems to be the recurring problem with this company. Their branding and choice of words they use to display and promote their products are very misleading. And anytime you need to deceive your customers through wordplay, I think it meets the requirement of a scam. It's not high quality steel. It's the same quality of steel that normal everyday kitchen knives are made of. And they're certainly not worth the discounted $300 price tag that they have on them, when you can just go to Walmart and get the same quality off the shelf for 30 bucks. And this just leads us right back to the problem that I have with influencers and content creators pushing shit like this onto their viewer base, because I want all of you to understand the psychology behind it. It's a real, true lack of respect from the content creators to their audience to promote shit like this just for the check, while disregarding the quality or legitimacy of the product they're actually selling. Because essentially, that's what these content creators become. They become salesmen for these companies. I had an aunt that I remember used to go around selling Avon products, which, if you don't know what Avon is, or rather was, because Ulta just kind of came in and put the nail in that coffin. But it was a direct-to-sell beauty product business. And if you know anything about marketing, you know that trying to direct sell to consumers is one of the toughest strategies to use. We've all been shopping somewhere or walking by a store in a tourist town and had someone try to stop you and sell you on some type of product. And it's pretty annoying. You're trying to go about your day and enjoying a nice stroll to sightsee. Maybe you're with your girl or with your wife or your family, and now you got somebody trying to sell you on some shit that you don't need. Well, that was Avon's entire business. And I remember my mom buying some of those products and how they just sat on the shelf in our bathroom because the product was just really blah. I remember the bath oils left this really slimy texture on your fucking skin. It was really just awful. And that's what these type of gimmicky tactics remind me of. People selling you products that have been marked up hundreds of dollars while they tell you you're getting it on a deal. So you go to the Kamikoto website, and right there front and center, you see a message that says you're getting 55% off. It's laughable, right? They're telling you that these knives are really worth $700 to $800, but because they're so generous, they're giving you 55% off. The Sony PlayStation 4 came out in 2013 at a price point of $399. And still today, to this very day, you still cannot walk into a store and get a PS4 for $200. And it's been a decade. My point is this: if a product really has the value and worth that its promo claims, then you're likely not getting that product for less than half of what it's worth. It just doesn't make any common sense. And for you people that like to play semantics, yes, I know video games go on sale, but that's something totally different. So this goes much deeper than just a blade testing. Again, Scott put a lot of research into his video where he found out they were apparently operating out of a hotel first before they changed their address to an actual business office. I mean, it's a whole hot ass mess. But I'm glad people are doing this to these types of companies and content creators, because at the end of the day, these YouTubers are only successful because of you all, because of their audience. And if they can't respect them enough to at least research the legitimacy of the products they're being paid to promote and sell to their viewers, then they don't deserve to be in that position at all. But those are my thoughts. As always, you're welcome to express your own down in the comments, and remember to protect your pockets and your assets and invest responsibly. Later.